Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for an IBM Tealeaf webcast. My name is Jessica Howard. I am the sales lead for Royal Cyber and will be the moderator for this webcast. Just a little information about Royal Cyber and IBM's Tealeaf solution. We can help you assess and take advantage of true customer experience management, get a deep understanding as to why your conversion rates are down, how to increase profitability, and other insights into how your website users behave and what experiences they get. With that said, let me introduce Mitali. She is a Tealeaf solution expert here at Royal Cyber and an IBM certified Tealeaf consultant with years of experience in Tealeaf development, enhancements, and production support. She is an expert in both flavors of IBM's Tealeaf solution, on-premise and Tealeaf on cloud. Mitali, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jessica. Hello, everyone. Just before I begin, I want to let you know that this session is going to be live and interactive. We are open to any questions that you have, any concerns. You can either interrupt me in the middle of the webinar or shoot us an email, or we have a live interactive session at the end of this webinar. I have with me Sakina and Vikram, who are going to assist you in whatever questions you have. So 3 of us are going to help you out if you're stuck anywhere. So just to talk about Royal Cyber has a huge global presence with 650 employees all across the globe and growing. And we have 300 employees plus who are focusing entirely on the IBM stack. As the picture shows, we have various offices in different parts of the globe, including UK, India, Canada, Mexico, US, South Africa, and Australia. Now let me go on and begin with the webinar. So the main concern right now in today's industry is a customer experience gap. So as per analysis and study, here's what it goes like. What most of the brands think and what most of the customers says. Talking more about online experiences, 69% of the customers, of the companies, think that they are offering a very superior online experience. They're catering to all the customer needs. But 51% of the customers who actually abandon sessions blame this on bad online experiences. In terms of understanding customers, 81% of companies say that they have a very close or holistic view or an entire picture of what their customers are actually doing on their website and how they can address to customer specific needs. But only 37% of these consumers agree to the fact that the favorite retailer understands them completely. Let us dig down into this issue a little bit more. So we have customers, or as a customer, they can come from various sources, which include website or mobile apps, or you could come to the website through posting comments on their Facebook page or tweet about offerings, also through call center for addressing issues. Now what we see is that all these sources are different and independent of each other. So there is no common view in each of them. For example, what we could potentially use is all of these channels to conduct one specific process. For example, I'm interested in a home loan. I would start the process online through the bank site. Then I would continue to use their mobile app for more information. Then I may call into the call center to get more assistance. And depending on my experience throughout the process, I may provide either a positive or negative comment on social media. But this is how the picture would be drawn. But what actually happens behind the scene is the company uses different IT tools to capture these interactions separately. These data sources are separate and siloed from each other, resulting in fragmented and incomplete view of the customer interaction. Here's what it looks like. So the organizations are fragmented. So each of their team is focusing on each of their specific roles. For example, the marketing team would focus on sending out campaigns for promos or new offers that are coming up. The e-commerce would mainly work on the products available online and the inventory. The customer care service centers will work on addressing calls and addressing the issues. What we see as a part of this is each one is working independently. Let me walk you through one example and how this actually looks like. As a customer, I come to an ABC website and I put some items in my cart and I abandon the cart. This is exactly what I did. Now to address this issue, we have the various teams looking into it to find out what's going wrong. The IT team, for example, what would the IT team be looking is they'd be looking at the application servers to ensure that everything was up and running, and there were no server errors at the end, they would look into the database monitoring if I've added some product to the cart or if I've added something to specific there, just to check in the database that that item is available. They also would do the middleware and network monitoring. So here's how the IT would look into this issue and try to address the issue just to find out why somebody abandoned the cart. Whereas when we look at the contact or call center, they have a different view, a different solution to this problem. First of all, a very small percentage of the customers are actually going to go and call up for a specific issue. For example, if I've spent like an hour or half an hour browsing for a particular product and I'm not able to add that to my cart, I'm going to be a frustrated customer. And if there are 100 such customers, hardly maybe 20 to 30% would actually call up the call center to find out the issue. Even when we call up the call center, they have scripted questions, like very specific to the product, which page are you on, or something more specific. And once they know the issue, if they are able to resolve it with one call, it's fine. But if it's an IT related or backend issue, that would lead to an escalation. And that's how the contact center would look at the particular issue, by addressing telephone calls. The third view is actually of the marketing department. We saw the view of the IT and the contact center, but this is something more different now. So what they're actually looking at the marketing perspective would be looking at the web analytic data, like finding out the unique visitors on the website, finding out the page views of a particular page where a person faced an issue, ensuring that the website is up and running, finding out the uptime. But what they actually noticed in this web analytic data, that the conversion rate was dropping by time. Now, to address this issue, how a marketing department would look at it would either raise an IT request if the issue is resolved, or if there is no issue, they would try for some remarketing tactics to reach out to the customers. And again, the same results. So here's where we come to this point, that each one of them has come across with their own set of solutions to this one particular problem. So here is what the problem is mainly. Without understanding why and fixing the problem, all other services and solutions are either ineffective or inefficient. So like as we saw in this complete case, that each one had their own set of solution, but nobody really found out why this problem occurred, what actually happened, what was actual customer view, what did the customer actually do to that he encountered this problem. So here is the whole gap in a whole gist. So the IT would mainly be looking at the server logs, the performance metrics, the application logs, ensuring everything is up and running to find out an issue. Whereas the business would look at funnel reports, business trends, and find out what's wrong. And again, the customer service would be looking at emails, calls, surveys, feedbacks to find out the exact issue. But then the bottom line here again is, but why did customers succeed or fail on some website? Here is where Tealeaf would come into picture to resolve this complete issue, because what Tealeaf is going to do is going to capture every customer, every interaction, and every time. It basically will sit like a camera on the shoulder of the customer and walk you through the entire customer activity on that session. By this, it's not merely screenshots of what the pages they viewed, but even the actions and interactions of the customer, which would be the clicks, the mouse hovers, each of these interactions, and capture them. And that's how we could have the three-step resolution to a problem, which is actions, interactions, and issues. Now let me walk you through how Tealeaf achieves doing all of this. So IBM Tealeaf has broadly four main features, which are search, replay, reporting, and alerts. I'll walk you down deep through each of these features. In terms of Tealeaf Search, we can search for sessions that are active, completed, or both. What I mean by active is, if some customer is currently on my website and currently browsing something, Tealeaf will actually capture this session, and at the backend on the Tealeaf server, on the Tealeaf portal, I can go and look up for the session. Now, to look up for a particular session, I can use different parameters. For example, I could use a session attribute. I could use something like the IP address or the browser that the customer is using. I could use the URL at which the customer is, or just a part of the URL to locate a session. Different sorts of environment variables, even including the HTTP header and the cookie. And that's how I can actually look up the entire session. When I'm looking into the Tealeaf Search, I could even add my filters so that I'm actually on the right session. For example, like on the screen that's being viewed currently, I wanted a specific logon ID, and I could actually look into the logon ID and find the list of sessions for my particular, for where there was a particular issue. And finally, we have the Tealeaf session list or view. So once I'm looking for a particular session, or including for a particular search term, for example, a browser, say Chrome, I would actually have an entire list of sessions with who browsed through Chrome and encountered a particular issue. And this session list view can be exported in PDF, CSV, or Excel and sent either to the marketing team or the IT team for resolution. Now let me look on to the Tealeaf Replay. So that's what we kind of spoke about earlier. Tealeaf is like a camera over the shoulder of the customer. Here's what it looks like. So this is the actual replay, where at the left-hand side we can actually see the customer interactions, which starts from the page load. It will actually capture from the page load, the mouse up, the click, and every interaction. Not only that, you can also capture the request and the response, which is shown at the right-hand side of the page. So when the page loads, what was the response from the server, what was the JSON? If there was something entered in the search field, that would again be captured as text in request. So that's how the replay works. And finally, once we have identified an issue, we can actually put this down into a report. For example, on the screen, we can have 404 error by browser. So this particular report captures all the 404 errors and sorts them out by the browser. You can drill down deep to find out what's happening. And here's what we see. We see that on the x-axis, we have the various browsers who encountered this issue versus the cart abandonment rate. That is on the y-axis. So this is the amount that was abandoned. So Tealeaf can capture every data from the session, including the amount in the cart, including the page visited, including the products browsed, and every interaction. So here's what the session list looks like. So we have the duration, screen views, last screen. Let me talk a little bit more about the view section. So we could set up the view to see exactly what we want to. We don't have to specifically have browser in the column or IP address. We could just look at and see what we have to. So for example, if there was some promo code that was not effective, I can actually add a column stating the promo code so that the users would have a look at it, and you can have a holistic view of what the promo code was entered by the user and whether they completed or not, completed the checkout or did not complete. Another feature that we spoke about is the Tealeaf Alert. So we can set up alerts so that each time you do not have to go to the Tealeaf portal and drill down into the reports and see the replays. So now that we saw in the previous example, we had 404 error by a browser. What we could do is we can create an event for this, that is add order error message, and then set up an alert. The alert will have the specific parameters, like for example, in this case, it's a threshold. So what I have said is if the threshold is more than 2, for an alert interval of 10 minutes, the alert is going to get raised, and I'm going to get an email to the, as we can see on the email address recipient, that's what the alert is going to go to. So if there's some specific IT or business error that we are seeing that a lot of, in terms of retail, if there are a lot of cart abandonments, what we can actually go and do is set up an alert so that the IT team can have a holistic view and see the number of customers that are abandoning in that interval of time. Talking more, these features are solely Tealeaf, but Tealeaf comes with out-of-the-box integrations. So the types of integrations that are there are CX Connect for data analysis, CX Connect for web analysis, and CX Connect for voice of customer. Just talking in more, in CX Connect for data analysis, Tealeaf can be completely integrated with any of the data analytic tools, so you can have your data flowing in and out of Tealeaf. You can also connect Tealeaf to all the web analytic tools, for example, Google Analytics or Adobe Site Catalyst, so you can have the data flowing in and out of the web analytic tools. Apart from that, you can also connect to voice of customer tools, so you can actually see what the customer feedback is, analyze and evaluate. Not only that, but Tealeaf can also integrate with your CRM tools. So if somebody is not really familiar with the Tealeaf portal and the Tealeaf dashboard and GUI, you could view these sessions from your very own CRM with the integration. Here's what Tealeaf as a solution to visibility would do like. It would actually create visibility in online struggles, find out the business impact of these struggles, and then help to solve these struggles and optimize the online customer experience. So this would be done in 4 steps. One would be capture all online traffic, analyze KPIs and struggles, replay sessions, and initiate actions to resolve. Just to dig down more into this, capture online traffic. Users come to the website through various modes. That could be the mobile, the iPad, the website. Tealeaf would capture all of this from the source from where the customer came. Then there are different various reporting features. For example, the KPIs, where you can actually analyze the report, find out the trends, and dig down into the sessions. And then you can replay these sessions and find out the actual issue and dig down into the root cause of the problem. Then you can initiate the action to resolve and come back and look at the KPIs to find out how the performance or how the cart abandonment rate would have reduced. For example, let's take an example of customer behavior analysis. There is an online retailer who captures all actions and interactions of customer using Tealeaf. Now, when this particular online retailer digged down into the KPI report, what he actually noticed was that there was a drop in sales conversions the night before. And also because of the reporting, he found out that iPad users hadn't converted to sales. So typically they were losing more users who were using iPad. He replayed this session, some sample sessions, a number of times to find out what was going wrong. And what he actually found out because of the replay was that the banner was falling below the Order Now button. Now he saw in the replay that the customers tried struggling on that. So they tried with the portrait orientation, with the landscape orientation. They tried hard to get through the transaction, but yet that did not resolve the issue. The banner was still below the Order Now button. Now here's what the retailer actually did, was send this entire data to the IT team so that they could improve their website usability, website view, and enhance and resolve this issue. Once it was resolved, the call centers actually reached out to the affected customers and recovered part of the sales. So here's one thing that we would actually want to highlight is you can reach out to the customers because Tealeaf would capture everything of the user, including the logon ID, the logon email, and you could recover the abandoned users. Another example, more specific to the banking issue, was a particular bank wanted to capture all online traffic. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to have more online interaction for their banking application. Now, customers to the call center with online retail issues struggle have a real-time view to the journey of the customer. Here's what actually happened is most of the customers would actually call the call center to find out what the issue is. Now, because of the Tealeaf Replay features, the call center people or the call center agent do not have to ask the customer to tell their exact journey. So they could see the replay on their own and find out the point of struggle. And here's where the call center would initiate an action to reach out to the customers and let them know what that issue was. In this whole scenario, what the observation of this struggle was that it reduced the phone call overhead by nearly 30 seconds per call. Now let's walk on to the benefits of Tealeaf. This is a case study done by Forrester for using 5 customers, and that's what the metrics are drawn from here. So what they actually saw was in these 5 customers who used Tealeaf, they had an improved online customer experience because most of the customer struggles were resolved. They also noticed that they had an increased revenue. That means they lost 3.5% less transactions than what they did normally. And also, because of all this, the customer loyalty has improved because there were increased retention purchases by 1%. So people had transactions to increase, and that were 1% more than the value that they bought previously. Decreased cost. This is one of the major benefits of Tealeaf. Is one, reducing the call center overhead or the phone call overhead. Like in the previous case, we saw that it reduced on an average 30 seconds per call. Also, reproduction of online IT issues is not a big task now because Tealeaf is going to record everything. And what the study says is 80% of their time for reproduction of the issue was saved. Once this is done, resolution issue based on business impact and faster issue resolution. So once we have all the details, we can calculate the business impact and prioritize the issues. So we know which issue is causing more loss and focus on that and fix that first and then move on to the others. Here is a real-time, the entire financial benefits from Tealeaf as a whole. What was actually noticed was because of Tealeaf, there was 0.5% increase in site conversion rates, 1% improvement in customer retention rates from better site experience, and 0.5% improvement in average order value from better customer experience. Talking a little bit more about these 3 points, so if on an average, if a particular website had a conversion of maybe 1% or 2%, that actually improved by 0.5%. And talking in terms of cart conversion and checkout, completed checkout, that would lead to a huge financial benefit. So 1% improvement in customer retention rates. So the customers who were actually leaving your website, you could hold them back by actually addressing their issues and finding out what's wrong. Also, the average order value increased because of a better online experience. As spoken earlier, on an average, on a large scale, what was actually observed was that there was 60% reduction in IT and development costs associated with problem reproduction. So, problem reproduction wouldn't be a big problem with Tealeaf. Also, there's a 10% reduction in IT and development costs associated with better prioritization of site projects and project avoidance. As we saw in the previous slide, because we can calculate the business impact, and I'll walk you through how we calculate the business impact, that you could prioritize the issues in terms of fixing them. Talking in terms of business benefits, here's what Tealeaf would do for you. Tealeaf would provide actual visibility into the customer experience. So you could see the session just as the customer did it on their website. You can then analyze and diagnose and resolve site obstacles related to the struggle. Also, Tealeaf affords the ability to quantify the business impact of any given issue for more effective prioritization. It also provides real-time customer experience analytics to engage discovery and website optimization efforts. Like spoken earlier, Tealeaf seamlessly integrates with CRM systems, so not a lot of time would be spent on training on Tealeaf. You could just have all the sessions replayed and reports viewed right from your CRM tool. It affords proactive remarketing or order recovery campaigns. With the Tealeaf ongoing upgrades, you can also send out marketing campaigns through Tealeaf by integrating with the marketing tools. Along with that, Tealeaf empowers you to calculate the total business impact. Here's what the business impact would mean as discussed in the previous slide. So first of all, what is the business impact? Business impact could have different parameters, but talking in terms of one example is how much dollar value is being lost because of a particular issue. Now, once that is what we need to find out. Once we know that, we need to find out how many encountered an obstacle. So if there's a known issue which was once discovered through Tealeaf, we need to find out how much of the traffic that came on that page encountered that obstacle. Then we need to find out how many actually converted or transacted in spite of this obstacle. This means how many went through the checkout process and bought the product or browsed the website or did not abandon the session, although they had encountered this obstacle. Now we take another scenario. What we do is we compare this to the conversion rate of those customers who did not encounter the obstacle. This means we would have the numbers of the users who came in And if they had they not encountered this obstacle, what was the conversion rate? Now, when we have a comparison between both the conversion rates and the difference in both of the conversion rates, what we can actually calculate is what was the cost of the obstacle. And here's what we come back is what is the business impact. Now we actually have calculated the business impact and we can prioritize this issue for resolution. This was all about Tealeaf, and I walked you through a couple of features and a couple of use cases. What we could help you in terms of Tealeaf is what I would be talking about now. That is the packages and services offered by Royal Cyber. So at Royal Cyber, we specialize in IBM Tealeaf implementation. We could get you up and running on Tealeaf even if you do not have Tealeaf with any of the flavors of Tealeaf, either on the premise or on the SaaS. We could assist you in Tealeaf migration. So if you're currently using an older version of Tealeaf, we can definitely move you to the latest. IBM Tealeaf support in terms of managed services, we could help you add business value to your existing services using IBM Tealeaf. We could help resolve issues, we could help find issues on your website, calculate business impact, and actually make you get more benefit out of Tealeaf. Then there's IBM Tealeaf performance tuning. We could help you calculate the performance of your website using IBM Tealeaf. For example, page load time or page crash time, or migrating from one page to the other. We could help you with the performance of your website. Digital analytics integration. We can assist you in integrating your current digital analytic tool with Tealeaf so both can work in sync. We can help you in creating specialized dashboards and reports and scorecards and KPIs so that you can have a holistic view of the report in one glance. We would also love to help in training and development and consultancy. Any questions, any services related to Tealeaf are most welcome, and we would address to each of them. Why Royal Cyber Services? We have a huge expertise and experience in Tealeaf. We have done a lot of implementations and migrations and support projects. Just to talk a little bit briefly about what we could do is we could help in session replay analysis. We could actually view the replay of the session and point you out to the issue. We could conduct a business impact analysis for prioritization of issues. We could do user experience analysis, customer struggle analysis, and then finally we could distribute data via dashboards and scorecards to executives and interested parties. Just talk on a very high level, we could get all the three teams that we spoke about earlier, the IT, business, and the call center, on one platform, and we could act as a common platform to keep the issue rotating between each of the team and help in reduction of time for issue resolutions. As a part of one initiative that we've right now taken is the free initial assessment or health check. If you already have Tealeaf, here's what we can do for you for free. We could assess your current Tealeaf reports, current Tealeaf structure. We could demonstrate one business use case and calculate the business impact on that and help you understand the value of Tealeaf and what our services could do for you. In case you do not have Tealeaf, what we could do is we could currently assess your current data structure and provide feedback on customer experience management, improving your customer experience management. Not only that, we would do a demo based on the latest version of IBM Tealeaf. We would draw out a high-level architecture and explain you and walk you through the implementation process. And finally, we could do one use case from your website on Tealeaf and show you how Tealeaf would work. Apart from this, as a part of our implementation plans and implementation projects, we do offer trainings of various levels. So once you have Tealeaf up and running, you could just get on and started with it. Here's where what our team looks like. We are centered in Naperville, Illinois, which is close to Chicago. And we have different members of the team. Huzefa Kutbuddin is the VP and Managing Director of Commerce and Digital Solutions, and he leads the team. Jessica Howard, who introduced us, is the sales lead, and she could walk you through and set up a free initial assessment for you. We have a huge inside sales and marketing IBM Smarter Commerce team. Moving on to technical sales team, we have Zulfikar Menon, who is the senior technical sales, and he is the project lead of this entire project. Nanda Kishore is the Tealeaf team lead. I am Mitali. I am into the technical sales. We have with us Sakina, who's on the call, who is again into the technical sales Tealeaf. And we have Asif Ali, who is the Tealeaf consultant, and Vikram Aditya, who is the Tealeaf consultant again. Apart from this, we have other Tealeaf consultants who are working in parallel. We have huge resources in terms of Tealeaf, and we are open to all sorts of projects. I would now like to take the opportunity to address your questions. So if there are any questions, we are right here, and please go ahead and we would love to address them. All right, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. And do feel free to reach out to us and ask any questions or any more details. I'll pass it on to Jessica now.
All right, again, thanks for attending, and if there are any other additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Jessica Howard. I am the sales lead at Royal Cyber, and my email address is jessica@royalcyber. Again, thanks all for attending, and we appreciate your time.